Welcome back to Everybody Has a Podcast. And today I am particularly excited because we have a San Diego local favorite. You guys all know her as Paulina for the People, but we have Paulina Tapia here today. Paulina, welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on.
I am so glad to have you here. For those of you who have never met Paulina, first of all, how the heck did that happen that you don't know who she is? Number two, Paulina comes here today with a vast depth of media experience from radio, television, live events, mixing culture with community, and also doing that with a great cause, raising money for local foundations and charities as well. So wanted to have her come today and talk about how podcasting fits into the big major media that we see happening today. It's becoming more and more adopted and mainstream. And you also even have a pedigree with coming from USC Film School.
Yeah.
So, man, I hope this episode looks good and you'll approve.
So far, looking great.
So, welcome. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's so exciting. I've heard. I mean, your style is fantastic. I mean, you do such great things for the community. So I'm honored to have me on.
Well, thank you for coming. And I know you've done a lot of radio. So, what's the thing that you think has been the same in radio over the years? Because culture's changed online. Everyone's watching video. Everyone's doing social media.
Yeah.
So, let's start first, I guess. Where does radio even still play a place these days?
I mean, it's
in your own words.
AM, FM / podcasting. I mean, it's up there for the most listened to media, right? I mean, it's there. I mean, drive time traffic in San Diego is getting worse, right? I mean, so we've got time on our hands when we're driving for the most part, right? And whether you choose to listen to radio for local news or, read up on audiobooks, listening to audiobooks or listening to podcasts, I mean, it's there. And then, there's the whole work from home life too, right? So all of us have Alexas, all of us have, streaming devices and stuff like that. So the beauty of, radio and podcasting and all of that is that you don't have to be so focused. You can have it on the background. You can be doing a million different things and it's there, right? So you're getting that subliminal information and, you're just taking it in.
Well, so from the inside, what's something that has just been so exciting for you about being part of radio? I mean, you've worked at several stations with Z90, Magic 92.5, 91X.
Yeah.
So, what have you really enjoyed about being, I mean, these are like staples in San Diego life.
Definitely.
So what have you enjoyed most about being there?
I mean, they're the stations I grew up with. So when I was invited to be a part of this company, I was like, yes, sign me up. I mean, they're heritage stations. They've been in all of our lives for forever, right? And what's super nice about it is that it's a local owned company. So, we have our competitor stations were all corporate. So our stations are family owned, operated, and I love that because so many of the businesses that we deal with, right, are family owned and operated, and it has that family feel. It's all about local San Diego. All the winners, if you guys sign up for contests, it's fantastic because it's easier than you think to win. So sign up if you haven't, but it's great because you have to be a San Diego resident to win. So.
Has there been a part of that has been surprising to you that was like an unexpected like value add or an unexpected uplift? Like, oh, I didn't know that this would be part of what I get to do, but oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I mean, all of it really. So this whole lifestyle that I'm living, somebody pointed it out recently where, apparently I've been doing it all my life. I've been in promotions and sales, in events, in marketing all my life. I mean, you had Avi Chola on not too long ago, and her husband and I knew each other before we knew each other, and we used to throw parties and promote and all that stuff, and so that just kind of is my world, right? So I run into people, from back in high school and even middle school and stuff, and they're like, "You're still doing the same stuff?" And I'm like, "Wow, I guess I am." So yeah, the promotions, the local life, the stuff we're able to do for the community is fantastic. I mean, you just see firsthand, like how much you're giving back. Mm-hmm. And, as you know, with podcasting, it's all about storytelling. It's like, so we're able to tell those stories. We're able to build those brands. You can do that in a 30-second commercial, in a 60-second commercial. You got to be creative with it, though, and so that's what I love about my job, is that it allows for that creativity. It allows for you to meet, local businesses and just real people and just be able to like tell their story to everybody.
Well, I want to make a pit stop there because you brought up storytelling, and I know that's something that you lean on heavily when you're helping people and doing. People call you the marketing maven of San Diego, so that's not by accident. I don't think that's by force either. That's not just good branding. I think that's just true because you're referencing right now, even like you've been doing the same moves ever since you were younger. And you're like, oh, this is just the same. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing it over here. I'm inviting people to come together and gather. There's some distinct qualities of storytelling and some distinct qualities of what I like to call like hosts of things, inviters of things. Like everyone likes being invited to the thing. Not everyone's good at inviting to the thing. And a lot of inviting has to do with casting a vision and illustrating this is what it's going to be like, and this is what you should expect, and this is why you should come, and here's the reason that it would benefit you. It sounds like that's kind of been natural for you, but as you've progressed in business and progressed in marketing, and things have changed, attention span has changed. Like, let's be real. What have you noticed? It's become more difficult for people to tell stories that matter, or is it becoming easier despite the changes?
I would say it's becoming easier. You have so many more options as far as getting your word out there. Social media has made it easier. Podcasts have made it easier. Every business should have a marketing budget, right? But they don't usually set that aside. That's usually the last thing they have. So before, it used to be harder to market your business and to tell your story and all of that, right? Because you needed that marketing budget. Now you can do so much with so little. It's like it's marketing smarter, not harder, right? And so basically you've got to find a way to be consistent, to tell your story, and just to get it out there. I mean, however you choose to do it. So many businesses rely on word of mouth, and it just like it makes me cringe so bad. Like they're like, oh no, I don't need business. I don't need marketing. It's all about word of mouth. Well, yeah, that word of mouth has to start somewhere. Nobody's going to talk about your business if they don't know your story. If they hear your name, frequently, that's key, right? You have to have that frequency, that consistency. But if they hear your story and they connect with it, that's going to stay in their mind. That's going to make them want to help you, want to, support you, and want to continue going back and want to create that word of mouth for you, So you've just got to tell that story, get it out there. And there's so many different ways to do it now.
So what's your advice to someone who doesn't think that they are good at storytelling, though? Because if I agree with you that the storytelling matters, and if people understand what your story is and they understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, not just that you're good at the thing, you're an immigration attorney, you're a plumber, you're a whatever. That's great that you're good at the thing, but the story around the thing and why you do the thing really matters. So how would you talk to people who are saying, well, I don't think my story matters, or I don't think the story matters for the success of my business or the growth of my nonprofit or the outreach effort I'm doing?
Well, it's so funny because it happens to everybody. It happened to me. I was just telling you that, Avi's such a great promoter of me, and she's always inviting me out to events, and she wants to have me as a guest speaker. And I'm like, what am I going to talk about? She's like, your story. And I'm like, what's my story? But thinking back to my story, I'm like, wow, I do have a story. So I think it's just that coaching with the business where, you have to just sit there and just let them talk. And you realize everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, whether it's super deep or just kind of just common. You can build on that story, and it doesn't matter. People always love hearing about how you started to how, you've been successful, or just every business owner. I mean, just to come up and have your own business and to launch that's huge. It's so hard for people to do. I mean, everybody has dreams and, but to actually do it, it's a big deal. That in itself is a story, So yeah, I mean, everybody has a story. Like everybody should have a podcast.
Everybody has a podcast. It just feels that way though today, doesn't it? I know they don't, but it's also kind of why we're doing this. Is I want people to understand that what they have, their background matters, and what they're doing matters too, and that they don't necessarily have to be. They don't have to come up with the training through university or whatever in order to sit here and talk and have a conversation. And you don't know this, but something that plagues me all the time with people is they'll have these storied careers, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And they go, what should I talk about? I'm like, How did you even make it this long not knowing what to talk about? Like, clearly you've known what to talk about because you've been helping people for decades in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, talk about those things, but like talk about them here and have those conversations. So for yourself, did you notice that it was easy right away, or did you feel like it progressively got easier as you started talking, being on camera more, being on radio, being
Mhm.
heard, being seen, being recognized? Was it difficult at first, or was it easy? And then has it become just natural for you at this point?
I mean, I think it's becoming easier for sure. It's still, I mean, you don't it's I want to say it's like a humble thing. I mean, you don't really look at yourself as like having that story or even having any information that anybody would want to know. You're like, I just do what I do, it's just work for me, right? And it's life and that's just how I live. But the more you speak to people and the feedback that you get is just amazing because you don't realize how much information any expert has, right? If you've been in a job for 10 years, you're an expert, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it, you've lived it, and you've got stuff that people might want to hear about, right? So it gets easier, but I think it is that just initial mindset of realizing that you have something that people want to talk about and just putting it out there and helping your community too because I mean, any expert has information that people want to hear about.
Yeah. So for you, what's been the driving force behind the community connectedness part? Like, I know part of media life is we do things in the community because we're part of the community. And sometimes the assumption is, well, it's all baked in. You're supposed to, right?
Mhm.
You're supposed to do those things. But for you, it seems much more personal. Like you're driving people towards events or activities that have a cause connected to it. And I want to know why that's so important to you personally.
I mean, it's important to me and it's important to my company. It's not my company, but the company I work for, Local Media San Diego. We do so much for the community. I mean, we're out there, every quarter volunteering with nonprofits as a team because it helps with team bonding and it helps the community, right? We do, I mean, just so many nonprofits, especially now, are getting their budgets cut. Like and it's important for them to continue to be able to help people. So we always try somehow to find a way to give back. I mean, we do a lot of campaigns where we get their message out, their story out there and all that. And then, we bonus stuff. I probably shouldn't say that to everybody, but, we'll do like a match campaign where, we give you a certain amount back in just bonus ads because we want you to succeed, right?
That's rad.
And, just our next big thing is our Cruise for the Cause event. It's the Javier the X-Man Cruise for the Cause with Magic 92.5. We do it at the Otay Ranch Town Center. It's 24 years already that we've been doing it.
Whoa, 24 now?
24, yeah. It's
Oh man, I didn't
amazing.
know it was that old.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
Don't tell Javier he's old, but
Well, no, no, no. I went to myself first. I'm like, oh my god, that's 24 years. Oh, I've been around for all of that. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Javier's been on air for
Jeez.
26 years. So he's been
Oh
doing it
man.
on air on Magic 92.5, I should say,
Yeah,
like on the same station.
yeah.
But it's such an amazing event. It's at the Otay Ranch Town Center. I mean, it's there. We're giving back to the Emilio Narias Foundation
Yeah,
that helps kids like never miss their rides to cancer treatments.
yeah.
And we do a blood what do you call it? A blood donations
Hmm.
and bone
Hmm.
marrow donations
Yeah,
and all of that. So it's like three things in one, and for a good time with the family.
yeah.
So
So
yeah.
what do you think is, you've been doing this quite a while now too. So what do you think what do you think is going right with media in San Diego, and what do you think could be done differently or better that maybe if given a little more attentiveness or focus, even people in the podcast space could be doing things to be better at this?
I think you have to be more strategic now and be more intentional and non-intrusive. So because of digital media, we offer digital media too. I mean, we do all of that. We offer almost every form of media, but it's become so strategic with digital media. And there was a time where everybody was like, oh, no, I don't want radio. I want digital. And right now it's AI, right? Everybody wants AI. They don't even know what that means yet, but they want it, right?
Yeah.
And so we offer it, but that's but the thing is that with digital media, it's become so strategic, which is great because you don't want to waste impressions on anybody that isn't interested in your product, so you can literally get super fine-tuned with a geofence around a 0.1 mile radius around your location that reaches like your prime demo, right? And that helps get ads. Like if I'm a consumer and I see an ad that makes no sense for me, I get annoyed, right? At this point now in the digital world, right? I get annoyed because it makes no sense for me. Like why is that ad being wasted on me? Now it's to the point where you're looking at ads and you're like, okay, that's convenient. Yes. I mean, I bought these shoes because they kept on retargeting me and I finally bought them, right? I'm like, it's that kind of thing, right?
I love your raw reaction. Like, I'm always seeing stuff I like.
I know, I'm like, those darn Instagram ads. And
but that is
so
proof, that is proof in the pudding, though, right? Like it's become so nuanced and so good. It's like we're always seeing stuff that we enjoy or would want to buy, and then sometimes end up buying.
I know. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship, right? Because it's convenient, it's non-intrusive. It's you're in the grocery store waiting in line, messing around on your phone, and you start to buy something, right? But then you get to the register and you get sidetracked. But then, so you never complete the purchase. And then later on, you get retargeted with that same ad. You're like, oh, thank you. I forgot about that, so it's convenience, right? So even that's in the digital world with radio, with podcasting, with your message in general, you want it to be convenient. You want it to be strategic. You can't just put out messages and hope that there's going to be a response if you don't have that strategy down. It's like you've got to be consistent, you've got to be frequent, and you've got to have that message.
So in this era where like we're all, I shouldn't say this era, we've always been competing for attention span. That's kind of always been the case. So because there's so much competitiveness for attention span, where do you think the role of podcast fits in media right now in San Diego? Is it a nuisance? Is it something that helps people? Like what's your posture and position on how podcasting helps or doesn't help what we're doing here in media in San Diego?
I mean, it's always been there. It's funny because I started in AM radio, right? And so I used to sell airtime to real estate, lawyers, like those personalities would just purchase airtime and be on AM radio. And that's essentially what a podcast is, right? I mean, radio personalities are the original influencers, right? I mean, that's who started it all, People listen to them, people trust them, they want to hear your story. It creates that information that you're looking for in any specific topic, right? So podcasting, I mean, the beauty of it is that there's unlimited airtime, right? You've got a gazillion shows that you can do that. I mean, people have those options. So whatever it is that you're interested in, you can find that specific topic, like to the T. It's insane, right? Like how many different topics people can talk about. So I mean, it's the important thing about that is that you have options as long as you have the time to listen, right? I mean, and as long as if for a business, on a business perspective, it's like if you have a niche market, people will listen, right? It doesn't even matter. And if you're marketing it properly and if you're being consistent, they're going to listen.
So who do you think should be doing more of this that isn't yet? I mean, you mentioned a couple of different nonprofits connected to the Cruz for the Cause. I think of nonprofits a lot. That's why I'm kind of pitching that at you. But, who else do you think is like primed to step into the podcast space and they would do well here, but maybe they just don't think they would? Because I see several different, I guess I'll stage it this way. I see several different industries that are like surging in the podcast space, but I'm broadly unaware of some other ones just because I'm not in proximity with some of them. So I see three right now that are really surging. Number one is law, like legal podcasts from local attorneys talking about like their specific part of law. It's immigration, personal injury, trust and estate. They're coming. The other one I see is tradespeople. So the plumber, electrician, the roofer, the solar person, and they're doing this because some of these other owners are looking to buy other businesses and they're establishing themselves as someone who can teach you how to scale and grow your business and then buy it, et cetera, et cetera. And then health and wellness, kind of like not alternative medicine necessarily, but like acupuncture and massage and chiropractic and nutrition and wellness. And so these three industry categories, I am starting to have a lot more conversations with people from those three. What are some other ones that like maybe you think would be good candidates for podcast space, but they don't think they are yet?
It's funny. One of my friends, one of our good friends, started a podcast for their hair salon, right? And I was like,
Really?
oh, this is interesting. Yeah, it's gosh, they're gonna hate me for not remembering the name. Bespoke Hair Salon, and
Please tell me it's called Cut to the Chase.
oh God, that would have been perfect.
Come on. That would have been
Oh
great, right?
man, sell it to them. No.
Cut to the chase. I'm bald, so I can't be doing none of this. That would be funny though. Be the
That
bald
would-
host of the salon show. It's Barbershop Andy. No, it's not. I'm just
That's great.
color commentator in the corner.
I love it.
All right, so tell me about
No
Cut to the-
bias whatsoever, right?
So the Cut to the Chase podcast.
Yeah. But that's an industry where they sent me the link and I'm like, what are they going to talk about? You know, it's like, and it's good. It's so good. It's for up and coming hairstylists that want to get into the business, and they pretty much direct them to that, like how to become that. And so it's so good, and
That's
it's just
brilliant.
informative. Yeah.
That is so smart. I think as much as I joke about being bald, you know, I see a lot of bald content on Instagram, but I see a lot of like barbershop content too.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me, like how well they do in social media.
Yeah.
Because people want to see the stuff that's happening at the shop. They want to see the stories. They want to see the actual cuts
Yeah.
or the terrible cuts that are made up or whatever. So it doesn't surprise me that the salon show would do well too. That makes sense.
Well, and then you've got so many personalities. That's the thing. I think for podcasting to be successful, you have to have somewhat of a personality, right? I mean, you can't be a dud. Nobody's going to listen, right? I mean, you've got to have that personality. And these hairstylists, they're out, they're like your therapist, right? Like they're out there talking to people all day long. So
Sure.
it's got that natural vibe, you know?
You know what's crazy? I never thought about that. But if you think and now I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, they talk to like hundreds of people every single month. They listen. They have someone sitting there for a couple hours getting their hair done. You're gonna be listening to a lot in some cases, and
They've
maybe
got
none
all the
others.
gossip.
Yeah, all the gossip. But also, you know, I was like counseling people, but you know, sometimes you're talking to somebody about some personal stuff for a long extended period of time. Those are all similar qualities about podcasting.
Yeah.
I never connected that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you
There's
said
a whole
that.
new vertical market for you right
Oh
there.
my gosh, the salon show, Jill. We're gonna do a salon show, but
Make
for
it
you and your sisters, not me. I'll be behind the cameras on that one. So another one actually I wanted to bring up is nonprofits. So nonprofits, I had a couple I've talked to that they are like considering doing a show because they're like, hey, we just need to get our message out. And again, back to the limited budget thing, making cuts over here, making cuts over there, or a lack of resources coming in next year that we had this year. And podcasting is becoming a way for them to get more bang for their buck, if you will, longer extended conversations that can be clippable and used in shorter formats to still kind of convey the message that you would in a traditional advertising sense. So I know that one's happening. And ironically enough, print magazine.
Yeah.
Print
Oh my gosh,
magazines, because they're
coming
like,
back.
print magazines are back. First of all, number
Isn't
one,
that crazy?
it's yes and no, because I remember loving magazines as a kid, and Sports Illustrated, car magazines, and then I was into drumming as a kid too, so I like Drummer Magazine, Drummer
Yeah.
World, and all this. So I'm not really surprised because there's like this nostalgia thing that's happening right now.
Yeah, that tangible product.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But being able to interview, like, let's say I own a magazine and you're the feature article of the month, and it's all about your life and what you've done in media in San Diego. Then I'm going to go and do an interview with you like this
Bring it to life.
to talk more about what we couldn't capture in the article and
Yeah.
the space in the print of the page. I'm
Definitely.
like, oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
It's a good blend of those things.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised to see it come back. I was in publishing before radio. I worked at City Beat magazine, and it was so fun. And it's crazy though. I saw some youngsters the other day, and they were on a podcast, and they were talking about how they were probably like not even maybe their 20s or something, and they were talking about how awesome it is they built out a newspaper. And I'm like, what are we talking about? These kids
crazy.
These kids were so excited to build out a newspaper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming back. So
That is so cool. I think that's neat. What's interesting too is as we're sitting talking about this print magazine thing, you know, I have a couple friends who they've been, you know, they were in like the pro skating world, and a lot of their like throwback Thursday photos or things like that. It's magazines they were in. To flip
Yeah.
into the page of the
Yep.
magazine they were in. And then I have a friend who was just in the town local magazine. He's got a business down the street, a cold plunge place, and like he's in it. And so I was there the other day, and I took a picture of
Yeah.
his article on the coffee table at his facility. I was like, here, I'm taking a picture of a magazine. like
When it's tangible too, people keep those things forever, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I've come out in a few too, and those are my mom has those saved, and she'll have them saved for life, But it's a nice thing. But I love that idea to like bring the people over here and continue that conversation.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good. Well, tell me something that you're excited about right now in San Diego. Media has like exploded in San Diego. So in our
Mhm.
space in podcasting, also in like the short form content, influencer content, San Diego's really been putting itself on the map over the last couple of years. And I think people from outside San Diego are starting to notice like, oh, there's something happening in San Diego.
Mhm.
What are you seeing about media in San Diego that you are excited or encouraged by?
I mean, I come from, I went to film school, right? I went to USC's film school, and I was in that industry for a while. And, LA's a whole different market. And I came crawling back home. I missed San Diego. I'm a San Diego girl, right? But when I came down to San Diego, there was no film industry, So I ended up going into publishing and then radio because those are my options, right? I'm excited now because CVEC is coming to town, right? They're doing such a great job. And the founder, Aaron, he's been amazing with what he's been able to pull together and the team that he's put together and the collaboration with the city and, just the steps that he's taken in order to get to where they're at is exciting. And I saw their whole layout of all their different phases. And it's just, I want my whole hope I'm going to manifest is that we bring a Universal Studios here to Chula Vista, to Otay Ranch, right? Like just what they're doing. It's like, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Aaron, he has such a tall task
Yeah.
upon him, and to get as many different verticals of buy-in and adoption as he's been able to get is impressive. I'm optimistic about it as well. Also, in having had some realistic conversations, like there's some headwinds in pulling off such a big project like that in Chula Vista. There's enough, I think, of the important voices in the room and at the table to make what has happened occur so far. But getting that final push, I think, is going to be that boulder right at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And I think he's super close. I'm really excited for it too, because
Yeah.
I think that also, not only does it allow a place for us to like for creators to go, but it allows something to come from Chula Vista too. Not just bringing things to it, but getting the projects done here that comes from Chula Vista, not
Yeah.
just from Hollywood and
Yep.
from Georgia and
Yeah.
from everywhere else. It would be cool to have something that comes from Chula Vista.
Well, not only that, but it's, we lose so much talent to Hollywood. I've known so many people that leave San Diego to live over there because that's where the work is at. It's like there's so much talent here in all markets, right? Like, music. Think of how many, athletes and just artists in general, right? So much. So to be able to like hopefully keep them here and just build off of that here is exciting.
It's funny because it's not funny. It's interesting because San Diego is such a huge place, but it's overshadowed by the gargantuan size of LA.
Yeah.
And you have like the biggest markets at LA and New York, and then everyone else is like number 2 through 1,000.
Yeah.
But like San Diego is such a legitimately huge place. And often, more recently, I've been reminding people like Chula Vista is a massive city.
Yeah.
It is the second largest city in San Diego County, second only to San Diego proper.
Wow.
And the third largest city is a distant third as far as population.
What is the third largest?
I think it's National City, like at 150,000.
Okay.
I want to say National City. That might not be correct. Chula Vista now has approximately 300,000 people.
Wow.
Now, there's other metros in the top 100 United States metros that have less than 300,000 people in it.
Yeah.
And Chula Vista sitting here in the county at 300,000 people.
Yeah.
It's a big place. And the county's huge.
Yeah. And what's beautiful about Chula Vista, and we joke about this all the time because Chula Vista is so huge, but we're such a bubble. Everybody knows everybody here, right? It's like no matter what. And then we have that vibe. Like when I went to school in LA, I gravitated, like, somehow my friends ended up being people from Chula Vista. I'm like, how do we connect?
At USC?
At USC. Yeah. I was like, how did that happen? We just gravitated towards each other, found out that we were all from Chula Vista. We're like,
Oh my
whoa, this is
gosh.
crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it's
Wow.
happened to me in different parts of the world too. You know, it's like I've traveled, and then next thing you make friends when you're traveling or whatever. There's been times where people are from Chula Vista, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So we have that thing here in Chula Vista. We have that love, that family, and we're in that bubble, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody wants to help each other,
Yeah.
which is amazing. I mean, that's what we all need. It's not about competition. It's not about stepping on one person to get to your level, It's about collaborating, helping each other, and that's the way we're all going to be better, you know?
So when are you going to start your own podcast?
It's funny. I tried. It's one of those things where, it's about consistency, right? But my friend and I, we got connected through another friend of mine, and he's like, he's always told me, AK, I'm going to give him a shout out. He's always told me that I needed a podcast. I'm like, what am I going to, no, not myself. Like, what am I going to talk about? And so he hooked me up with a girl that he went to high school with, and he's like, you guys are going to be great together. She's a comedian, and you guys are going to do great. Sure enough, he introduced us. We hit it off right away. Her and I are fantastic together. Like, she's hilarious. Her name's Erin Gonzalez, and she's amazing. And we have a ton recorded, but if your daughter wants to edit, maybe they're just not edited yet. So, but it's about consistency too, and it's about time, and so that's on us, but we've been doing other stuff as well. We did, because of that podcast, we did an event, a networking and comedy event called Pitch Please. And it was awesome. We did it once, and we need to bring it back because everybody keeps on asking for it.
Is this the Pitch Please that was at the Mike Hess in North Park?
No.
They
Oh,
did
that's
it-
probably
a different one?
Pitch a Friend.
Oh, that's Pitch a Friend.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that is so fun,
No,
isn't it?
Yeah, so Mike Hess is one of our other clients, and
love
we
Mike
did
Hess.
we did some coverage on Pitch a Friend. Sorry,
Oh,
so
cool.
Pitch Please. I've seen Pitch Please in social media.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
So
why
we
it
did
sounded
it at
familiar.
the Emo Brown warehouse.
Oh yeah, okay, I did this place.
And
Yeah,
it was awesome. We barely pushed it out. We had about almost 100 people. I mean,
Oh,
it was,
wow.
it was great. It was a lineup of comedians, artists. We had live artists. We had food trucks. It was like a little festival. It was so cool.
That's super cool.
I know. We got to bring it back.
So yeah, wait, I was gonna say, when's the next one?
Everybody's been asking. So
It sounds like a do again.
Yeah, Avi Chola's gonna be the live artist on the next one.
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
that was the original plan.
Yeah,
So.
she's always roping you into stuff. You
She
can
is.
you
Yeah.
go get her, wrangle her into.
She's a great wingman. We go to networking events together. So if you need a wingman, like
Oh,
she's your girl. Like,
Well, no, she's not. You guys are together. You guys
you
got
should
each
come
other.
with us.
Oh, the third wheel. I'll be the third wheel. The third
There's
wheel
never
guy.
too many networkers.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. No, I would love to hear your show. Clearly, I mean, obviously, because you've shared earlier that there are some characteristics and some qualities that make a good podcast host. And there's experience. And I think experience matters, and general curiosity, and being inquisitive of people and the human spirit and the condition of people and relationships. And I think that sometimes it gets overlooked that a podcast is just a process. And, there are definitely people who will over organize and over script their show, and it has to be a very specific thing. And just speaking for myself, it's a little too mechanical.
Yeah.
I oddly enough look at podcast shows similarly to the very brief glimpses I've had at AM radio. There's a general format, but then the conversation takes on a life of its own,
Yeah.
and you got to be able to kind of flow with that and kind of still get to where you're going without getting off the rails. But sometimes when it goes off the rails, that's the stuff that
Just
people
go with
chew
it.
up
Yeah.
and they love.
Because it's like you're sitting in on a conversation. You're that fly on the wall, right? It's
Yeah.
like, and that's what people really want to. It's just that mindless sometimes, right? It's just that stuff you have in the background, but you're loving it. You're grasping at it. You're able to enjoy your time doing other stuff. But it's entertainment, right? But it's informative a lot of the time. So.
And it's important that people are themselves. And I think that is something that is sometimes the struggle. And to be not to get like too deep, like right away, like boom, hit by a truck, here comes a depth moment. Sometimes people have to admit, oh, I don't necessarily like who I have to be to do this. And my argument is always, you have to just be yourself.
Yeah.
And if that's the problem, then I can be your friend over here and we'll talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important that people are authentically themselves in the podcast space. Like,
For
I am
sure.
excited today. This isn't me pretending or performing that I'm excited to have you here. I love doing this, and I have a
Yeah.
lot of fun doing this. And I love meeting people from all sorts of backgrounds to talk about these things,
Yeah.
because I have been so... I think I've listened to so many different people's life stories, experiences, their track record, how they help people. And it's helped me as an audience member, as a listener and a viewer. And now I'm trying to, like, in this weird way, like, pay that forward, kind of like also leave breadcrumbs of myself doing this, as well as trying to inspire others behind me. Okay, come on, let's go do this together. I don't care if you use us. Go use someone else, but go do it, please.
Yeah. And authenticity sells listenership, right? Like, you want to be authentic. People relate to you. That builds the trust, right? I mean, it just brings people back. I mean, if you're scripted, if you're monotone, it people are just gonna switch. They're not gonna stay tuned in. So
Yeah. Well, you have choices on the radio, just like you have choices on the internet. You got
Yeah.
choices on YouTube, choices of podcasts. What would you say to someone who's feeling like they have imposter syndrome? What would your voice say to them if they feel like they're dealing with some imposter syndrome?
It happens, right? And it's trying to find that story. I would say to work with your best friend or your mom or your dad. I mean, because they're your biggest fans, right? And find that story. For example, my mom, I don't know why I'm going to tell this story right now, but my mom the other day was bringing up a reason I should be proud of myself, right? And she was reminding me that in elementary school, I had to go to speech therapy. I used to say I couldn't say my R's. And so my name was Pauline Bochelle Porter.
What?
So yeah, and I totally forgot about this, right? But like, people used to make fun of me. It was like a whole thing. I had to go to speech therapy, and now I do voiceovers on air. I
No
do
way.
like public speaking,
No
and I
way.
was like, oh yeah, mom. So it's like those things, right? It's those stories that you got to be reminded about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that.
Yeah, I totally forgot too. So, yeah, it's those things, right? That your parents are proud of you about. And so for the people that have imposter syndrome, you've got to talk to the people that love you most, talk to your biggest fans, and have them remind you of why you should be proud of yourself, right?
That's such a good point. I'm so glad you said that and that you told that story, because there's a truth element to that. Part of the imposter syndrome is there will be people that are probably going to tease and make fun of me, or they're going to make some rude comments, because people are all tough behind their keyboard.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters
though.
gonna
You want
hate.
Haters. You want haters. If you have haters, you're doing it right.
Haters are going to hate, and that's typically the only thing on their resume.
Yeah.
That's how I say it now.
Yep.
That's the only thing they're good at is that. But I think that comes from a real place for some people, and maybe they have a stutter, or maybe they can't pronounce their R's, or
Yeah.
maybe they have a little bit of a dialect, and they think they're hard to hear. But I have to remind people, like, you listen to people that sound just like you too,
Yeah.
and they appreciate your effort for doing it.
Yeah.
Just like you appreciate their effort for, even if they sound a specific way that is like not as good as the next guy, they're still doing it. And
Gives
I think
you
there's something.
character.
I think there's something to that. Like there's a grittiness and like a commitment to tenacity of getting through that, or let's say getting over it, to still show up at this place no matter
Yeah.
how you look or sound.
It gives you relatability,
Yes.
and you'll build that listenership in that whole crowd, right? It's like you inspire people. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think our culture generally likes American culture. Like we like the underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
people want to get behind the underdog, and the underdog looks a lot of different ways these days.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways, and sounds a lot of different ways too. So I guess that's more of a note of encouragement now from, the bald guy in the corner. Like if you think you sound different or you might look a little different, that might actually be to your advantage.
Yeah.
That might actually be to your advantage. I've been bald for 20 years now. I look the way I
You're
look.
owning it. You
I
got
look.
that.
Well, I was telling you, I wore my hat backwards the other day because I got sunburned. So I got this like funny looking forehead right now. But hey, you got to show up. You got to do the show.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that too. But yeah. Oh, so I have a couple of questions I want to ask.
Okay.
And I like asking this to everybody because when I was growing up, I used to watch Larry King, and
Okay.
Larry King would interview all these famous celebrities, and he was kind of like the godfather of interviewing, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, it worked.
what,
You're a great interviewer.
well, thanks. It's taken practice. But one of the things he would ask people is like, who would you want to share a meal with, like dead or alive? So
Yeah.
who would you want to share a meal with, dead or alive?
Oh man. Famous? Somebody famous?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be famous. It could be your grandfather. It could be the
Yeah.
postman who used to wave every time.
Yeah, the person that came to mind is my abuelita. She was such a badass. Like, she was just so fun. She had such great personality. She was a little comedian, She was just like a solid woman, and with such great personality and such great character, and just somebody that like everybody knew, like, and people loved being around her. She was like the woman of her neighborhood, and she was just so much fun. So one more meal with her would be amazing.
Do you have a special memory with her, or something that you think about fondly?
Yeah, there's this trip that my mom and I took with her. So it was the three generations, and we went to Puerto Vallarta, and it was so much fun. And she was probably, I want to say she was like 70 something at the time. Like, she was up there, and I was maybe like in my 20s or something, and I'm like, let's go ride horses. And she's like, okay. So we all went riding horses.
What?
Yeah, and she was like, I looked back and I saw the horse galloping, and she's like holding on for dear life. And
Oh
she
my
went with
gosh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
great. What a fun
Yeah,
memory.
she was awesome.
What a cool thing to do together. 3 generations.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Such good times.
That's really neat. Okay, I have another one. And this, I don't think he asked this one, but if I were to put you in the middle of a stadium with 100,000 people, I give you the microphone and you get to tell somebody thank you, who would you thank and what would you say?
Oh man, these are tough questions.
I know you love lots of people, and there's probably a list of
Yeah.
100 people deep that you could express some gratitude. But
Yeah.
if I gave you the chance to say thanks to someone, who would you want to say thanks to?
No doubt my mom, because she raised my sister and I, single mom, worked multiple jobs, and was always there for us with love and character and resilience. Like, she was just always there, and like pushed for us to be the best people that we could, and with the means that she had. And I think we turned out great. And I would thank her even now as an adult, just for her energy and her way of life. She's like so positive. That lady travels like on average like 7 solid vacations a year. And like, we're in May right now, or June. What are we in? June? She's already been on like 4 solid vacations,
Oh,
like
wow.
Japan and Europe. And, so I would thank her for her energy and just her way of life, and for like teaching us how to be like her.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Final words of advice for people who are thinking about getting into media, regardless of whether they're nonprofit, business, they have a specific community organization or something that they're working on. Final words of advice you'd give to somebody who just has not jumped off the fence to get started. What do you want to tell them?
I would look at your group and just see who's closest to you and collaborate as much as you can, whether it be, through your peers or, having them recommend other forms of media or whatever it is, right? There's so many different ways to get your name out there. So I would just recommend collaborations. I mean, those go so far, and there's ways to, market smarter and not harder, right? I mean, I have this launch that we're doing for a program that we started called Save More San Diego. And, so many people, it comes down to budget, right? So many businesses are like, I don't have the budget to advertise. And when it comes down to it, it's you've got to find the right places for your money, right? So we started this program called Save More San Diego, and it's our support local program, right? Everybody wants to advertise, but they don't have the money, right? And so what we get a lot is like, will you trade? Like, we have gift certificates, like, will you trade? And, when it comes down to it, we're a business too. So we have to kind of, make our revenue as well. So, there's programs out there is what I'm trying to say that allow you to get your name out there. Our program is a partial cash, partial trade deal. you get radio advertising, you have the option for digital marketing, and then we sell your certificates online with the trade portion. And so we get our money back in a sense, right? We'll sell them for a discounted price, but they get the full value back in radio advertising. So that helps get people's foot in the door, right? And it helps just kind of build that story and get your name out there without having to spend the money that you would normally have to spend with a marketing campaign, right? Same with you. Like, just talk to people that are close to you that can talk to you about like what your story should be or why you would be worthy to have your own podcast, and then be consistent. Just be consistent. That's the main thing.
Awesome. I think that's great advice. Thank you for sharing all that. And finally, how do you want people to follow you? If they don't already follow you online, where's the best place for them to connect with you?
So at Paulina for the People, and you have to do this, Paulina for the People. So on Instagram, and I'm on LinkedIn, and you can also come watch me MC a comedy show at Southwestern College. So I'm a proud member of the Alumni Association. I transferred over to USC from Southwestern, so I give a lot of thanks to Southwestern for that. I was actually the very first and only, I think till this day, student from Southwestern College that has gotten accepted to USC's film school. So
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I hold that reins still. So they invited me to MC a comedy show that we're doing with my co-host, Erin Gonzalez. So she's going to be doing the comedy there too. So that's on July 11th. I don't know when this is coming out, but you guys can come see me there. It'll be super fun. And just keep an eye out for events. I'll be at Cruz for the Cause in August 2nd.
Awesome.
I'm around town all the time, so
That's
don't
great.
ever hesitate. You can hear me on air. I do voiceovers, so if you hear those commercials, just say hi in your mind while you're driving.
That's great, Paulina. Thank you so much for being here. Paulina for the People.
Woo-hoo.
Paulina Tapia, who learned how to say her R's.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. I don't know if have you ever shared that on the air with anybody?
I don't think so, no.
Wow.
My mom just reminded me just
Awesome.
like last week, so.
Cool. We get the story.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I think
Of
that's super
course.
cool. And I think that's also just a great living testament of like, hey, it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish and what you do
Yeah.
next. So thank you for doing that. By the way, Southwestern College is on the come up.
Aren't
They are doing so much work over
they
there, like
are.
modernizing it, but also like I was there the other day and I saw a media van on the campus and it was for the Jaguar Media. I was like, okay, now hold on.
Yep.
And they're making moves in that space too. So
Yeah, I went
I'm
to
excited about that.
I graduated from there or transferred over with in telemedia.
Mhm.
And that's where, I learned the basics of everything that I did eventually, right? And if you got time for one more little story, when I went there, growing up in the ghetto, right? You don't know what you want to do, right? And so my mom always kind of encouraged us to go to college, but, we didn't have that path. We didn't know. Our high schools didn't encourage that. It wasn't a thing. And so we went to Southwestern College, and there I'm like, what do I want to do? I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was grown up. It's like everybody asks you that question, but I had no idea. So of course you take all the general ed and you try to figure it out, right? So I remember taking a film class there, and I got assigned to be the director. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but I did it and I loved it. And I love telling people what to do, right? So I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I was so excited because it was already like time for me to either stay there forever or transfer somewhere, right? And so I didn't know where I was going to go. So finally I decided that's my route. Like that's my calling. I'm going to do that. So I go to my counselor at the time, right? And I'm like excited, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, right? And I'm like, I finally got it. I know what I want to do. I want to go to film school. And I already had some research done because I wanted to go to like the #1 film school. And I decided USC is my school, right? And she was like, Mija, I'm sorry. Like, that's not your route. She's like, you're a poor, like low income, double minority. I'm like, what is that?
No,
I'm like, I don't even know
what
what
is
that means. She's like, you're a female, you're Latina. And I was like, oh, shoot, I didn't know I was a double minority. Okay. So she's putting me into all these boxes, right? And she's like, you got to come up with a plan B. And I remember leaving there devastated. I cried. Like, I went to my mom and my sister, and they're like, why are you even listening to her? No, like, let's figure out how to get you there. So luckily I changed counselors, and I TJ Tate was his name. There, he was an amazing counselor, took me under his wings and like totally helped me get to USC, and I got accepted, right? Like, and so what's funny is that, one of 7% of applicants get accepted, and I remember thinking to that lady, like, God, good thing I didn't follow her advice, right?
Yeah.
And she was Latina too, so I was like, and she was a double minority.
Well, but here you are telling the story as the underdog story, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
You're like living your own underdog success story.
I know, and the payoff was so nice though, because they invited me because again, I was the very first and only person that has gotten accepted to USC's film school at Southwestern College, and so I got accepted to speak at the graduating class. And when I went, I told that story, and the counselor was right there in the front seat. And I was like, yes! I didn't call her name out. I didn't say her name, but she was
For
there.
real?
Yeah, I just remember her turning red because I know she remembered. She had to. If she didn't remember, then that's a problem. But it was great. It was such a good payoff.
Thank you all for being here today, especially you in the front.
Yeah.
Looking at me, knowing what I'm about to say next. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
wild.
never give up, right?
No, well, yeah, that's great. There's so many lessons in what you're telling right now. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's been a fun life.
Well, and shout out TJ Tate.
Yeah, TJ Tate.
Shout out to TJ Tate and shout out to Southwestern College. Definitely on the move, making moves and on the come up, man. They are doing great work over there. And, as Chula Vista has continued to grow, it's serving an even greater part of the educational and academic needs in our town. And then sending, again, something coming great from Chula Vista, like getting people from Southwestern that are going to all these other schools and coming back, serving their community, I think is fantastic. It's a great circular story. People leave Chula Vista and then come back. I left Chula Vista and came back myself too. So I'm just so proud of that. And thank you so much for sharing so much today. I know sometimes times in radio slots are a little bit slimmer.
Yeah.
But this is, again, the power of podcasting is we can talk about these things for a much more extended period of time. So thank you for giving me so much of your
whatever
time.
you need, right? But the beauty of it is
we're not
that
editing anything.
we're here talking.
No, we're not editing anything. Even this part of me telling you we're not editing anything. This all goes in the show. So, Paulina, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you all for watching. Everybody has a podcast. I know you may not have a podcast already, but everybody can and should have a podcast, even if you don't make it with us. We wish you guys well. Hope you have a great day, no matter what day you're watching this, and we'll see you again next week with another great guest. Bye.